Good Wednesday evening, everybody. It's November 17th, 2021. That's right. And I said it this morning on the update, November is just like flown by. And I don't know, I've had a busy schedule, so certainly, part of the reason is me, but it just seemed like it just flying by, Andrew, and I don't know why.
Agree.
But
well, the fact that Thanksgiving is next Thursday is like, excuse me.
well, and I was thinking maybe because we've been told, that you have to get all your holiday gifts so early, and you have to do all of this stuff so early, and
I did some shopping last night.
I've done all my shopping online this year. Second time I've done that, and I'm seeing so far. There's only one thing that I ordered 2 months ago, and it was an advent calendar, a special advent calendar. I've never gotten it before, and that's the only thing so far.
That's good.
But we'll see.
Yeah, we do hybrid. We do a little bit of both.
That's what I normally do, and I'll still get into the store.
Yeah, one of the items we're looking for, I really can't find online, so I have to bob through the stores to find it. So
yeah, well,
that's all right.
Yeah,
but
so
it's.
I think that
November has flown by.
That's why and maybe the weather too. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, we have another great show lined up for you here. We'll get you some headlines here in just a minute, and then we have a special. We're going to be talking with Clean Lakes Alliance. 2 segments here. We're going to be talking about getting those leaves and why keeping them out of your drain and picking them up is so important, especially before rain. And we're going to learn about the organization and then, again, talk about fall cleanup here. And I'm very excited. First time having these folks on the show. So, and hopefully a new partnership here and keep bringing them back so we can protect those lakes that we so love to visit, right? Love the recreation. So we'll talk about that coming up. All right, to the news. Brush and yard waste collection update. You may have heard this. Pelletier is experiencing some issues with labor and truck maintenance. Currently, Pelletier is expecting to continue the brush yard waste into next week. It'll be the week of November 22nd. So please, they say thank you for your patience as they work through this. As far as what is going on with the brush update or brush collection, it's your standard. So nothing changes as far as brush and yard waste pickup goes. Those things still stay the same, so it's just the pickup times have been altered. If you think you've been missed or have any questions, you can contact Pelletier 608-257-4285. This is on our website as well, so you can get the number from there. Fitchburg Holiday Light Tour is back on the schedule. Get this on your calendar. And there was some really great light displays last year, so I'm looking forward to this event. This is going to be on Saturday, December 18th from 6 to 9 p.m. Join all of our great residents here and drive around and check out these holiday lights, 6 to 9 p.m. And, of course, if you want to be a part of this and get on the map, you need to have that sent over to the website. You got to register for that. We'll share you the link how you can get there, but definitely get that on your calendar, December 18th. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I said, Andrew, there were some crazy houses. They were awesome. Blown away. Also, I'm like, how did you get up there? Did you rent a lift? Good ladder safety practice here in Fitchburg. That's all I'm saying. All right, we don't have a children's holiday party this year, but we do have Talk with Santa. That's right, he's back, and he's jolly on December 10th at 5 p.m. Okay, I just cracked myself up. Space is limited. Make sure you get your kids registered. We're going from 5 to 8 p.m. there, so get yourself registered. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, another thing that's a lot of fun, zoo lights are back again at the Henry Vila Zoo, right in our backyard here. Get your tickets now, November 26th through December 30th. Open Friday, Saturdays, and Sunday. Entrance time 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Gates close at 9. Some bonus days as well, December 20th through the 23rd, and December 27th through the 30th. If you haven't checked this out, it is really awesome, especially for the young kids who are they're looking up at this guy like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's cool. Speaking of cool, warning signs of hypothermia. Yeah, we're going to have some cold weather next week again, and winter in Wisconsin can be a great time to be outdoors, but if you're heading out, whether you're going skiing, fishing, or just plan to play out in the cold, make sure you know the signs of hypothermia: confusion, shivering, difficulty speaking, sleepiness, stiff muscles. Get out of the elements, get inside, get warmed up quickly, and make sure you bundle up. We, again, are expecting some cold weather coming up later this week, so we'll want to make sure that you stay safe for that. All right, those are our headlines. Coming up next, open our guest segment, two-part segment. We're talking with Clean Lakes Alliance. That's next right here on Talking Fitchburg.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready!
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Clean Lakes Alliance, first time on the show. Glad to have him here. Founder James Tye, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, thank gosh, I got it right. I'm glad to have you on the show, and glad for all the work that you and the organization have done for the Madison area and surrounding as well. It's great, and I believe in change, and I believe in protecting our waterways because I'm an avid fisherman. I like enjoying, I like going out to parks and stuff, and believe in the cause. So maybe I'm just a little excited to have you here. But James, tell us a little bit about the organization and how you founded it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. And, our job really is to educate and get other people to do the work, right? It's not us that's doing the work. Well, we do work. We've done $1.2 million in grants, but our really job is to be a catalyst for cultural change. Before they get into that, do you fish here locally on one of the 5 lakes?
I do. Yes, and then I also fish Crystal Lake. I've been doing that down in Cambridge. Andrew and I are big fishermen down on Lake Ripley, so we like to get around.
Yeah, I've gone a couple times and going down Lake Wabisa and muskie fishing with a guide.
I need to do.
As a gift to my dad.
I'm working my way up. I'm a
bass,
a big bass fisher and northern those sort of things, but definitely going to get down on that eventually.
Yeah. So the story of the Clean Lakes Alliance is one of sort of everything coming together at the right time. It's truly the ski team that is the basis of where Clean Lakes Alliance came from. The ski team, they're on the lake every day during the summer. They're practicing, putting on those shows at Minoan Terrace on Sundays, and they could see the water changing, like really like below their feet, below the skis. And so they wanted to do something about it. They called the thing a Clean Lakes Festival. So the festival came about, and they were raising money for the lakes and for their organization. And we really blossomed out of there. My friend Kim Straka and I were hired by the ski team actually to do PR, marketing, and development for the festival. And we realized that there was such an opportunity to really focus on the lakes and create a 501c3. So on November 8th, 2010, 11 years ago, this coming Monday, we started the Clean Lakes Alliance with a small group of people, some funding from Land's End and Spectrum Brands, and a group of volunteers, some from the ski team, and went out and brought together a board and have grown the organization. I think a lot of people are like, you were mentioning, before we were on talking, is that, well, why is this organization not been around for like 20 years or 30 years?
Right.
Well, the weird thing is, I think, in Madison, we just assume that everything's being taken care of for us. We're the state capital, we're the university, we've got, all these people here that really care about the environment, but really there was no entity sort of pulling us all together. So our community board is made up of 50 people. nonprofits, corporations, government, individuals that really meet on a regular basis to strategize and how to fit out our vision of the community, which is that everybody truly thinks that the lakes are the true heart of the community. So if you think about that, have you been up to the state capitol grounds lately?
It's been a little while.
But what do they look like?
They're always kept really nice and clean and green and festive.
Yeah, so the state capitol is one of the premier capitals around the country. They've renovated it, they continue to renovate it, they invest in it, and it's pristine. You think about, what about Camp Randall?
Same deal. It's gotten better and better and better.
Right.
It's a staple.
Right, so we want the Madison Lakes to have that same investment, and you wouldn't dare drop a piece of trash on the state capitol lawn, right? You wouldn't dare, do anything to Camp Randall to hurt it. Unlike back in the Don Morton days where students were ripping apart Camp Randall, but that's a different story for a different time. But, I think our job is to be a catalyst for change, putting the lakes at the center of the community, and then educating people what they can do to help the lakes. And the problem with our lakes is that they're getting too much phosphorus, right? So phosphorus is an element. It comes from leaves. It can come from construction sites. It can come from agriculture. And we need to reduce the amount of phosphorus that's going into the lakes. So 1 pound of phosphorus equals 500 pounds of algae. So it's a huge multiplier effect. And, we've made a lot of progress in the last 10 years, increasing the practices. Agriculture has changed a lot. People now know that leaves in the street are the worst thing they can do for the lakes. It's in the conversation. People know about things like zebra mussels and different things like that. But the issue is that we're getting more rain, right? So now this year is an odd year. We didn't get a lot of rain this year. But historically, over the last 10 years, not only are we getting more rain, just keeps on going up, we're also getting more intense rain. These weird isolated things where you can get like an inch or 2 inches in a very short period of time in a very isolated place. And the way we've built out our communities is to move water away from home as fast as possible. I mean, that's like get them away from your house, get away from the church, get off the streets, get into the stormwater system. Well, we need to rethink that, not only for water clarity in the lakes, reducing the amount of soil and sediment and phosphorus and salt from going to lakes, but we need to do that for flooding. So it's a twofer, right? So we want to have our lakes open and enjoyable for fishing and recreation and going to the beach and sailing and sitting at the Union and having a beer. But we also need to do it for flooding because our isthmus, as we know from several years ago, flooded and actually had 2 summers of flooding. So what we need to do is think about how we can get the water to stay on your property, whether that's a church, a farm, the West Town parking lot, anything, and get that water to soak back into the aquifer and go through that natural process of being filtered out and get down to the aquifer versus just flushing into the lakes.
Yeah, and we're having a hard time moving that down the chains, too. And that's another different story for another time. As far as the change of clean water and the stuff you have shared there, where's that messaging now? What are things that you guys are doing to even get people to think about changing their habits? And because it's not, again, there'll be lots of construction. Agriculture is a must here in our state, but how do you get people to really break those habits and get thinking on this?
So you can do it, cultural change takes a couple different things. So one, you need education. You need to research. Science is real. We should believe the people from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So you got education, science, reporting. You need to report progress, and so people can see that we're making progress. There's lots of different things. Money, and money's not any good without the operating income to get the feet on the ground to do more projects. So there are all these different levers that we need to push, and the Clean Lakes Alliance can't do all of them. The City of Madison can't do all of them, but together collectively, if we're all moving in the right direction, you can make progress, and we have. So basically, the amount of phosphorus in a gallon of water coming into Lake Mendota actually has less phosphorus in it now than it did a decade ago, 20 years ago, and 30 years ago. So the practices going on in agriculture are making a difference. But the problem is now, maybe a couple years ago, we'd only get 1 gallon. Now we're getting 2 gallons of water. So what that says is what we're doing is working. We just have to do more of it. So that's why the Clean Lakes Alliance brought together 19 organizations, and we signed what's called the Yahara Clean Compact. So think about like the Paris Accord, but for the lakes. So we have been working on coming up with how to renew our effort for more bluer lakes. So in other words, hey, what we're doing is good, but how do we hit the accelerator, right? So how do we do more? So it's sort of like, okay, you are eating a cheeseburger, but now you need to go faster in the treadmill for a longer period of time to burn that off. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to be coming out for next spring with a new set of actions. Those actions will say, hey, this is the best thing for an individual resident to do. This is the best thing for municipalities to do. This is the best thing for our park system to do. This is the best thing for agriculture, because everybody needs to make a difference to reduce phosphorus by half. So basically, the loading to the lakes is just over 110,000 pounds on an annual basis to our 5 lakes. To get it down to that balance point, you have to go on a diet. And the diet is pretty significant, but you can get there. And if you get down to about 50,000 pounds, the lake can take care of the rest of it itself. There are internal mechanisms in the lake to reduce the amount of phosphorus, just as how several lakes balance themselves out. And so if we get to that point, we're going to have way more days that are clear, also more clarity per foot. And for somebody like myself who grew up in Madison, I was fortunate to spend some time on the lakes growing up when I was a kid. But we want more people to get out into lakes. Now, you might go to the Union one day and they might have, some algae there, but that's because the winds are coming from the north. So go over to Governor Nelson State Park, because I'm telling you, on that day, that park is awesome and clear. And so, it's sort of like a weather forecast. The water sort of moves around, and just because it's not great on one side doesn't mean the other. That's why one of the things that we did is citizen scientists. So we have a thing called lakeforecast.org. We have 70 points on all 5 lakes that are monitored by 103 different people on a regular basis. Wow. They upload it and go to lakeforecast.org and download it on Apple or Android for free. And you can get the readings of what beaches are open, which ones are closed, what do these monitors think that week. We hook up to the limnology in Middle Lake Mendota. There's a buoy there that matches everything out. So getting people involved is really important. And those citizen scientists that are regularly testing the lake really create a good backup to show people what's going on.
It's amazing work, and I wish we had more time to dive in deeper into this. But overall, if people do want to get involved with the organization, want to learn more, and follow what you're doing, how can people get involved?
Well, the first thing, just go to cleanlakesalliance.org. You can learn about us, follow us on social media. The biggest thing is there's 10 things that people can do at their homes right now to help the lakes. With that cold front that came in a little bit colder now, the leaves are coming off. Get those out of the street. The number one cause from the urban environment is leaves in the street. Those leaves between the curb and the gutter and the street, when you run them over, they're just like a tea bag. That phosphorus pulls right through that and goes right into the lakes. And so that's the biggest thing. But there are 10 other things that people can do. Clean Lakes Alliance or follow us on social media.
All right, James. Well, thank you so much. I know, again, I could pick your brain all day, I think. So,
yeah, maybe a topic a month or something like that in the future.
Hey, I'm game if you're game. So,
yes.
You have the open invite to come on the show for sure, and we'll look forward to sharing great information. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for everything that you do for the community.
Here to help. That's what we want to do. All right, we'll take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me today from the Clean Lakes Alliance, we've got James Ty. James, welcome back to the show, and thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the invite back.
We got in depth last time, and again, there's so many things that you guys are doing that are amazing, and we want to focus today as we finish up the end of fall here, transition into the winter, and things that you can do to again stop the phosphorus, stop the things that are hurting our lake streams and rivers. So let's dive in to the leaves as we wrap up here. We've gotten some cold weather recently. The leaves are falling like crazy. What should folks do with their leaves instead of just leaving them in place?
Well, the leaves are the biggest contributor to phosphorus from lakes from urban environments. Those leaves, when they're in the street, sort of create a tea bag. So when the water goes through those leaves, they pull out all the tannins, all the phosphorus, or anything like that, and actually goes into a lake. So just like a tea bag that you sort of dip down on and the tea turns brown, you're basically doing that, and the lake is eventually going to take that phosphorus. Phosphorus is going to turn into algae, which makes lakes green. So the first thing that we really do, just like if you're pulling out of your driveway and you're going to go to work, if you see some trash on the curb and gutter in front of your home, you're probably going to pick it up, right? We want to get to the point that everybody sort of thinks about leaves. Let's get the leaves out of the street. Leaf-free streets is what we're looking for. The curb, the gutter, into the street, whatever you're comfortable. Don't go out in traffic and do it. But, and then what do you do with those leaves? Well, I think we have 21 different municipalities in our community. Everybody has a different way of doing that. Fitchburg has a way, Madison has a way. But really, you want to put them on the terrace for pickup. You can mulch them also, so just put them in your backyard and composting, and they're great for your garden beds. That's really important. And so if we can change the culture that, leaves are to be out of the street, just like trash, that's what we're aiming for. And then, and you can do that even into the winter. I mean, even after it snows, there's still leaves coming out and they're blowing around, so we just want to do that year-round. It's not just one weekend. Just like you cut your grass maybe 7 days, 1 day every 7 days, we want you to do when you clean up, go out there and pick up that curb and gutter.
Yeah, you say composting leaves. I started doing that. Somebody turned me onto it a couple of years ago, and I've never had the dirt. It just crumbles.
Yeah.
So now I collect the leaves even from the neighbors and put them in the garden as well because it works so well and composts really good. So it's a great alternative to using those leaves for another purpose, and mulching too in the lawn. Just really great. It's almost like a fertilizer, and bad word to say, I'm sure, in front of you, but either way, it works to your advantage. Are we going to get to a day where we'll issue an alert? Because I always think of that when we get in this time of season and it starts to rain. We almost seem like an alert day, and I don't want to use it because some of the stations use that, but an alert day to make sure that we got to get those out of the street and think about the runoff.
Yeah, there are some days I think that more leaves come down, but I think the long-term goal is just like you cut your lawn. It's not just one alert day, but there's alert day every Sunday when you cut the lawn. And just get in the habit. You're changing that culture, because when I was a kid, we completely changed the culture for recycling. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm a little bit maybe older than you, all we had was tying up the newspaper with twine. That was it. Mm-hmm. And then we moved to cans, and you would take the cans and you'd take it to a mall parking lot and put it in a machine and get some quarters. And then we got, you would take it maybe to a recycling place yourself. Then we got the city came about and we got 2 trash cans. And then we started remodeling kitchens and we got drawers. So there's a long scenario from where we are today to where we want to go. But our community is so good at changing what we do. And faster we can move that leaves are picked up whenever you see them. Once a week as part of your chores, give it to your son or daughter and give them a couple bucks. It's a great enterprise for them.
Absolutely. Well, as we transition into fall, or out of fall and into the winter time, salt becomes kind of the next thing of Wisconsin because we've got the different snow and ice and everything. What's your perspective on salt use, and that seems to be a growing trend of awareness as well. I feel like, especially in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, so winter is coming from that popular show.
Oh, why did you have to say that?
Oh, sorry.
Come on.
So there's a couple things. As climate change continues, we are going to be in this space where sometimes it rains, sometimes it freezes, sometimes it snows, and then it goes back to warming up, which creates more ice. So actually, it's with climate change, our part of the country is going to say more of this changing back and forth, which creates that ice. So salt is really bad. It doesn't really go away, whether it's going into the aquifer or going to the stormwater system. A very little bit of salt can make a big difference. It's basically like 1 cup for a 4x4 area can do it, because the specks don't need to be clumped. You ever go by and somebody has like a little mound of salt and you're just like, oh my goodness, that's not doing you any good. So light amount of salt-wise is a great cooperative organization that's talking about reducing the amount of salt. So it's something really easy because you actually don't have to do anything. As far as leaves, we're asking you to do something. Salt-wise is even easier. Being wise about how you use your salt, just use less. Just like you're possibly supposed to do less on your food, we want less on the ground. But coming up on December 1st, we have a contest called Mendota Freeze. You actually can guess the date. Lake Mendota will freeze, and there's a $1,000 prize given up by Land's End. So you can go buy some nice warm clothing for the winter. But it's free, open to all, and it opens on December 1st. And, climate change is happening. The date that Lake Mendota freezes is slowly getting less freeze dates. It's just a great way to be people aware of that. And boy, do people get competitive about it. There's whole families that talk about it over Thanksgiving, and there's arguments, and there's people who do science, and people just throw a dart at the wall. But we're looking forward to the winter. It's a great time of year because when the lakes are frozen, they are our largest parks.
Yeah, they are, and they're great. It's again beautiful time too. Another great time to hike and see those Great Lakes. If people want to find out more about what you're doing, about stuff you talked about today, how can we do that?
You can go to Clean Lakes Alliance, and there's a tab called "What Can I Can Do." Get educated, learn about what you can do at your home, and advocate for the lakes.
All right, James, thank you so much again for your time. I appreciate it, and we'll look forward to having you back on the show. And let's see, my guess is going to be the 31st of December.
Thank you very much.
I'm going there. All right, well, take a quick break. More to come. You're watching Talking Fitchburg.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Well, welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Wrapping up the show for today. Thank you to Clean Lakes Alliance for joining us. Make sure you check out their website and figure out when the lake will freeze. That's such a cool game. Andrew, we gotta make sure we do that too ahead of the lakes freezing. As we wrap up here, you can stay connected with Fact TV right there.